Public humiliations. Harry and Meghan wildly slammed right in the US over fakeness and irrelevant. Meghan Markle tried to impersonate a British accent in the latest episode of our Archetypes podcast as she welcomed actress Jameela Jamil with a cheerful "hello." The two women discussed activism in the 9th podcast episode meant to deconstruct labels that hold women back from achieving their full potential, but her attempt at showing off her abilities to put on a British accent was met with public backlash. The British actress greeted Meghan saying, "You alright, babe? Hello." Meghan replied, "Hello," with what seemed to be a Mockney accent before speaking with her usual Californian voice. Her attempt at mimicking the British accent drew the ire of Twitter users who mocked the Duchess. One podcast listener tweeted as quoted, "Is Meghan trying to do a British accent again?" While Twitter user @RoyalNews said, "Now making fun of the British accent, please Meghan, shut up." @SwissNeutral said, "Pathetic really." @Nipnob added, "They're both as artificial as they come." During her time working for the firm, Meghan Markle tried to tweak her American accent to make it sound British. In 2019, phonetics and pronunciation specialist Dr. Jeff Lindsay said that some of Markle's vowels sounded more British at the time. Marisa Brook, assistant professor in linguistics at the University of Toronto, acknowledged that Markle developed a speaking style that makes her sound English-aristocratic while talking to people. However, this doesn't mean that she's a poser. Some speech accents reported a change, but not everyone was convinced. There does seem to be something in the idea that Meghan Markle's speech has changed a bit, at least in some settings. "There are occasional vowels which sound a bit more British," said Jeff Lindsay, while conceding it was tricky to make absolute statements. Meanwhile, Prince Harry just moved to the United States 2 years ago, but it seems he's already picked up his wife Meghan Markle's American accent. Body language expert Judy James analysed Prince Harry's gestures while speaking to the winners of the Well Child Awards this week. She said that the Duke of Sussex's natural ability to talk to children triggered feelings of regret because he's no longer working as a senior royal. "It's hard to watch Harry here and not regret the fact that he's no longer a member of the royal firm. He engages so well and shows empathy with the people he's talking to, as well as exposing his own emotions in a very natural way. He's especially good with children, who he mirrors and mimics to create some very natural bonds with, and who he talks to directly and easily, rather than talking over them at the parents." James also pointed out how Prince Harry's accent has seemingly changed 2 years after moving to the United States. During his conversation with the awardees, James noticed the dad of two changing the pronunciation of T to D. For instance, instead of saying excited, James noted that Prince Harry pronounced it as excited. He also pronounced the word better as better. Babel experts previously talked about the changes in Prince Harry's accent since moving to the United States. They said that his British accent has taken a more laid-back tone in the past 2 years. Since moving to the US, Harry's once traditional royal accent has taken on a more laid-back tone, which to some might sound like an Americanization of his accent. However, it's more likely due to him dropping received pronunciation, which is often the world's idea of the perfect British accent, also referred to as the Queen's English. What we're seeing as Harry's new accent is more commonly referred to as estuary English accent, a well-spoken accent typical of London and the southeast of England, which is less rigid in its pronunciation than Royal English, but is still common amongst the upper class.